Beautiful things recording. All right. Hey guys, welcome to episode 32, the Lockyville podcast. Today we're talking about nutrition, and I have a good friend of mine, which we've been friends for, geez, how long now, bro? It's been a while.
Oh, year 10, year 9.
Year 10, yeah, year 9, year 10, I think it was. I can't remember. Whenever I moved to Brower College, I think it was year 10. It was year 10.
I can't remember. It was one of the you came over 10 years.
Yeah, it's over 10 years ago, so I've known him a long time, good friends. Probably been self-educating yourself on nutrition probably over the last 5-6 years, realistically, if you add it all up. Just finished your diploma of human nutrition. And today we're just going to start off talking about the stigma of diets. And I get asked a lot, but that's not really it's just one small part. I'm kind of very broad. I'm like, this is what I do. This is how I do it. But this is my opinion from my personal experience. But that's all I can sort of play. So I'm not very qualified. I don't really spend my time is normally spent in movement, right? So it's more in movement. So let's just start it off, dude, and just going. What's your personal experience on diets and how do you find working with the thousands of freaking diets that are out there?
So it's more like when you're kicking around the interwebs and doing research and everything, and you're looking at YouTube articles and everything on like all the new fad diets that come out and stuff. Like everyone knows, well, most people know about just like carnivore, keto, vegan, paleo, low carb, high carb, protein's going to kill you, or
too much protein, not enough protein.
X nutrients going to kill you, or whatever. Everything kind of contradicts everything, and then so many people just go and just distance themselves from it and just say, nah, it's too hard, and it's like too complicated, and everyone's telling me different stuff. And this person's telling me this will save my life, and this person's telling me it'll kill me. And my sort of thing is that, first of all, that people are trying to be way too detailed and specific, where most people need is just first to regulate their calories. And that's it.
The consistent calories, would you say, like eat?
Yeah.
Not so much eat, or maybe eat the same sort of foods every day, but you feel like you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories a day.
Quantity, just like.
Gotcha.
Oh no, and that number will change for everyone. You know, your total daily energy expenditure will change based on your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is your fidgeting, you're just walking around, your chores, the stuff that isn't exercise but still movement. Everyone does different amounts of that. And then, of course, everyone does different amounts of exercise. So that everything affects your energy output, so how much you're burning. And then, obviously, you have weight, height, age, gender. And then... So that'll change your total calories that you actually need to eat every day. So everyone will be different. A very rough estimate for a male is somewhere between, for an adult male, is somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 calories. And for a female, it's sort of 1,600 to 2,000.
Yep.
But very broad. Some guys need 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day. Some people need like 1,500 a day. But finding that and just regulating that yourself and learning how to, I know it's like, it sort of scares people away when you say to count calories, but it really is just the overall governing factor of at least like body composition and your weight. Because all you need is just to count one number for a little while. You'll have a general idea.
I agree.
Not forever. Like, hell no. No one wants to do that.
No.
But get that right first. Like, then you can start. Once you get that right, you get to a healthy weight range and you know how to regulate your quantity and see how your weight sort of responds to that, and know how to regulate it with, different exercise and whatever. I won't get into exercise too much here, even though I do love talking that stuff.
No, we can save that for next episode.
But you do that first, and then you can worry about optimizing if you want. then you can start looking at what diet might be best for you and your lifestyle. And like, I'll tell people right now that meat isn't going to kill you. Vegetables aren't going to kill you. What else is it? Like, carbs aren't going to kill you. Fats aren't going to kill you. Saturated fat isn't going to kill you even. Like, none of that's going to do any harm at all, really, if you're eating any sort of a normally regulated, like, balance of foods. If you are, like, if your calories are under control. All the stuff you see, like diabetes and heart disease, yeah, they're shown to be caused by excess sugar consumption and excess saturated fat consumption, but only in a hypercaloric state where you're consuming more than you burn consistently. If you don't do that, some people eat shitloads of saturated fat. As long as the calories are controlled, they don't get heart disease. They don't get diabetes, high blood pressure, and all the other jazz that usually comes along with diet-related sort of issues. So control your calories first. Then you can look at, if you are, from an ethical standpoint, you want to go vegan, fine. You know, then you can sort of look like that. And if you don't particularly care about eating breakfast, and you like having big meals at night, maybe intermittent fasting is great for you. You'll love it. Or maybe if you want slightly more balanced energy, or you're prone to, so you sort of like have epilepsy or have sort of insulin issues, you might try a higher fat or even a keto approach. Personally, I don't think carnivore is ever.
What's your opinion on that? It just it's an interesting one, because it's like,
I think it's incredibly restrictive. And
I agree.
Like, just not enjoyable at all. And very, very specific people might get a benefit out of it in the short term. But I still don't think it's a long-term option for the vast majority of people. Like, really, like, having there's study after study just show the benefits of having fiber in a diet. And
you can't argue with that. Hey, it's hard.
Eating that much meat, like your digestion alone will just be so negatively affected.
So much inflammation.
Yeah, and it can potentially cause, although in the absence of grains and legumes and certain carbs and stuff are usually quite pro-inflammatory. If you take all those out, you can sort of reduce inflammation, but then with the meat, it sort of might balance out. So inflammation, especially if you have a lot of omega-3 rich foods in your carnivore diet.
Yeah.
People want like grass-fed beef and so on. And that's the other thing, like carnivore is meant to be
quality meat, right?
Nose to tail, good quality. So you're meant to have organ meat. You're meant to have like bone broths and the whole animal, rather than just, people just think they're just slamming steak.
Yeah, it's just big as steak, right? Yeah.
You'll definitely fall off real quick. Like, that isn't going to do you any favors trying to do that. But yeah, I think some keto has a place. Even a mostly meat diet, for certain people would have a place, but fiber is just, from what we know from the scientific literature, is just way too important to omit completely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think, like, the way I thought about the carnivore diet was like the fact that there's naturally on this planet that fruit and vegetables grow. So I'm kind of going to go off that instinct that it's probably meant to do, at least have some sort of vegetables and fruit in their diet. But I have understand that people have been using it more for more autoimmune diseases and those kind of things. Because I think, look, again, this is like, you go into a whole deep level of nutrition, right? All those little chemicals and vitamins and stuff. Sometimes people react to those.
Yeah, so the phytonutrients, the lectins and everything, you often hear carnivore people talk about those plant defense mechanisms and that. But yes, while they're a thing, they're still offset by a lot of other, like a piece of fruit or a vegetable is an entire organism that works together to be absorbed by you.
Yeah,
it's not like you eat drink some lemon juice and you're just getting like, it's the same as having a vitamin C pill. It's not. There's so much more. There's like enzymes and sugars and minerals and everything else that comes with food. So to look at it from one angle and just sort of think a reaction to a sort of a plant defense mechanism is pretty single-minded. You got to kind of, it's not a very holistic approach. So I think, and there's so many things you can do to reduce those, like sprouting grains, just washing your fruit and vegetables, fermenting.
Really?
Which unfortunately no one really does anymore. A lot of
It really does, mate.
The old school tactic, but there's a reason. Doing all that stuff actually existed to like enhance the nutritional quality of fruit and veg, and the like obviously the storage and the freshness of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do all that even if you're super worried about the lectins and all the anti-nutrients and stuff that's comes with fruit and veg, and there's loads of options to reduce that as well. You can get the best of both worlds then.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's a crazy one. Especially that's probably only come out the last couple of years.
It's a pretty hot topic. Like it's a pretty hot debate. I feel like the vegan diet's kind of fallen off.
It is.
The popularity was really in the spotlight for a while there, especially with freaking Game Changers. Oh my god! When that came out, I don't want to get into that, but that was sort of like really piqued the vegan interest, and that's sort of fallen off now. Now it's this big carnivore debate that's going on. It's just silly. Like, just help people eat less and move more, and
it's so simple, isn't it? It's so simple when you put it that way.
It's so simple to get 90% of the way. You know, it's really simple to get most of it done. Beyond that, if you have the right information, if you're not getting like sold all these crazy different angles and specific diets and all that, if you have just the right information, it's so easy to get 90% of what you need to be a super healthy, happy human. And then beyond that, you can really get into it and try and optimize and stuff, which is sort of the stage I'm at now, where I'm just experimenting and really finding what really agrees with me and works best.
So you think what you just said there, would you say that people with nutrition need to be kind of open-minded and need to start experimenting with different foods and trying different things and getting more variety? Just so, like if you eat the same food all the time, it gets boring. Like I'm a creature of habit, don't get me wrong, but it's like even then I'll catch myself, like as soon as I start falling off the bandwagon with my nutrition, it's normally been I've been eating the same consistent foods for way too long.
Yeah, like the options, there's not two options, right? It's not like it's like you can only have chicken and broccoli or a pizza. Like people need to just realize there's so many options, and they think if eating healthy is just this cage that they will need to exist in forever if they want to maintain it, and they can never have ice cream again, or can never have a burger again or whatever. But it's just there's a lot of food. There's a lot of different types of whole foods out there. People are just like familiarity is like our brains seek out familiarity and routine, and they don't want it. But you need to sort of just with a little bit of extra effort try a different vegetable, or try some organ meat if you've never had it, or try out a different type of meat, or some organic tofu if you've never had. If you usually have meat with every meal or something, maybe try some organic tofu here and there, or do curries with like legumes and swap things up.
I feel like
and when you understand calories,
that's good advice, bro. I
what?
feel like that would stop most problems. You know what I mean? It's just like oh, I don't know what to eat, then start eating different things. Like,
yeah, the answer
like
is anything that's
anything.
a real food. If you look at things
Yeah,
and you
whole
sort of
food, right?
understand, like people have lost connection with it a lot, and they sort of don't really. A lot of people don't know what whole foods are anymore. Like, or
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't think. They at least don't think about what whole foods are. I don't know. They sort of see something, a packaged, processed garbage food, and it says, you know, low calorie or low carb or high protein, or it makes all these claims on it, and they think that's the one, that's the healthy option. But it's the most processed thing ever, and it's got loads of synthetic vitamins added to it, and it's got like the fibers been stripped away and artificially put back in.
Yeah.
And there's like ground up bits of like weird meats that's used, and there's like bread in there to fill it out and all that. And so instead of that, you know, get yourself some like organic veg, stir fry it up, make like get some like grass-fed beef or organic tofu or grains, or organic grains and legumes, sprout your grains, ferment your veg, do some fun stuff. And you can have like just this crazy variety of food that you can always get. It's like crazy convenient. You don't just have to spend ages cooking either.
Yep.
Like you can cook so much stuff so fast.
Would you say a good like, which I think this it's not even a skill, but this habit of learning to love to cook, or liking to cook, like learning, having fun with cooking? Because I feel like for me, when I really started taking my nutrition seriously, I always ate healthy. I always, for the last 12 years, I've been eating pretty well. But like when I really started getting more variety, because I was just only eating sweet potato, chicken, like real plain. I just eat for the I love food, I love taste, but I always eat it for the results. I think I just got brought up in that kind of mentality a bit. It's probably
everyone did. I was in that too. That was what was preached from the health sector was real weirdly just specific stuff of just oatmeal, egg whites, chicken breast.
Yeah. You remember that?
Not chicken thigh, chicken breast.
Chicken breast, yeah.
And then like
chicken thigh's fat.
It was this weird prescription of just like real specific foods that came from a lot of bodybuilders magazines.
The food pyramid, right?
Oh, the pyramids, just garbage. Like to suggest that everyone needs to eat that ratio of food is just so dumb. Like I get you need to apply something broad to the public, but come on, man.
Oh, guys. That's like bringing back, like that's when it really, everything sort of changed, is when I really started like, oh man, I kind of like cooking. And I'm like, well, what else can I cook? And I just started thinking, and I started getting some recipe books, and then my whole mind was open to like, again, like as you just said before, it's just like there's thousands of things you can cook, and you're just like, why haven't I doing this earlier? So definitely learning to love to cook, I think will help you encourage. I think it will encourage the process of you getting different varieties. That's what I try and do. I don't know how you do your nutrition, but every time I do a big food shop, it's usually once a week I do a big shop, I always get different fruits and vegetables. I always get the same base,
change it up.
but it's like 40% the same, and then everything else is different.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to do it. I mean, I do that too. I have my shopping list where it'll be the same things on it for like maybe half of it might be the same basics that I always consume. And then it's up to what I decide to cook. I think learning how to cook is a prerequisite for being just a decent functioning human.
Being functional, right?
Like you don't have to. If you got someone else who cooks for you all the time, like great, but you should still know how. You know, you should still have the ability to put together a meal for yourself, like shop for yourself, cook for yourself, and look after yourself. It's a very basic, like fundamental.
Yeah, it's.
Sort of
I have this. It's not an argument. It's just like my thing is like, if you can't look after yourself, how the hell you expect to look after your family, your partner, and all that? But so you oddly have to be a little bit selfish, but at the same time, I feel like if you had a partner, you kind of want to see if you can get them on board at the same time. And I feel like my mistake was in the past, mainly with housemates and past partners, was I kind of told them what to do. Like, you need, and I was right, like, because I was like, hey, this is legit. I understand. This is what I do. It's my job. But the problem is people don't really like getting told what to do. We still have this thing where with kids, like children, don't learn from what you tell them. They learn from what you do, and we still kind of do that. So now, if I have had new housemates because I've got spare rooms spare, or even my girlfriend, I kind of don't really tell them much. I kind of just do it, and they go, "Oh, why are you doing that?" They start asking questions.
Yeah,
like kids,
sure.
They ask, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?" And then they go, and then they cook their food. They're like, "Oh, fuck."
You just pique curiosity and
Great curiosity. Yes, exactly.
Show some other options. Like, people are really curious when they are prompted in the right way.
Yeah.
And I think, like, with clients, a lot of the time is I always start with just the most simple approach first. With a client, whatever their goals are, my whole thing is to disrupt their life as little as possible. At least for the first sort of section of the program or whatever we're doing. And I'll try and give them something that'll make the biggest difference with the smallest effort and disruption to their current lifestyle. So, and then once they got that down, like they've built that habit, it's fine, it's no worries, it's an easy thing to do. Then I'll sort of build on that and add in other things slowly that'll really help them. And all of a sudden, at the end of the program, they're completely different, but they feel like they haven't really changed. I think programs that try and do too much too quickly, even though it's all, quote unquote, the right stuff to do. Yeah. People don't want to change that fast. It's really daunting to see.
Micro changes, right?
Yeah, just small changes over time, and then you build upon it. That's how you get shit done. It's not sexy. It's not like it's not super sellable or super exciting, but it's what works. And what I'm interested in. I don't care about quick results that'll just fade away in a couple of months.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you feel like? What do you feel like is the? I want to say mistake, but what do you feel like is the biggest? What is the most common problem that you come across with when working with people? That you find that you go, it's the same kind of problem. It's the same. So, for example, right, this is going more movement, right? We'll bring it to nutrition. The most common problem I see is people don't have enough inadequate body awareness, so they don't understand what their posture is doing. They don't understand. Most people don't understand what position they spend the most amount of time in. So usually it's hip flexion. That means obviously sitting down. So then obviously I've got to prescribe exercise that undoes the hip flexion part and do the opposite of hip flexion, which is hip extension, right? So that way you don't have tight hips. Oh, I'm losing weight. I'm getting shredded, whatever it is, but I still have a tight lower back. So like that's usually pretty common as far as like movement wise. But what do you feel like?
Sitting all the time.
Yeah. What do you feel like nutrition? Like, where do you feel like? I feel like it's education. Quite personally, as we said before we started recording this, but like, what's the most common problem you find?
Well, yeah, it stems from a lack of education or a lack of proper information. But like everyone that I've, except maybe one, basically everyone that I've taken through a program have had the same issue of thinking they're eating healthy, or like the mind switches to healthy week, or healthy, it's Monday, like healthy now. And while they're doing that, they're just massively under eating calories. And then it inevitably leads to the weekend, which you've just got this perfect build-up of 4 days, Monday to Thursday, of really harsh calorie restriction. unknowingly, they don't, they don't know. They've just been eating salads or, lean protein or no snacks or whatever it is, or no carbs or whatever. And then it gets to Friday and they're like, things are happening, social stuff's going on. And they might not even realize hunger's a weird thing with how leptin and ghrelin, like the hunger and satiety hormones work in a weird way where it's not like you just get hungry and then continually get hungrier until you eat. It's like ghrelin will spike. It'll make you hungry. You'll go, oh, I'm hungry. Then you'll actually get less hungrier if you wait a while and you won't be hungry anymore. So people do that all week with their ghrelins, just like, you're hungry. And then you're like, well, no, I can't. It's still 2 hours till my next salad. And then it'll fade away and they'll feel all right. But eventually that shit will just build up unconsciously and they might not even feel that hungry come Friday, like consistently.
Yeah.
But their brain and their body is so low on calories that it will tell them to just
pig out,
consume massively. And then they'll put alcohol into the mix usually, and it'll make it so much worse. And all your inhibitions are lowered and you just don't give a crap.
Yeah.
And that's the cycle that most people are in, is like an unknowing, is like a subconscious binge starve cycle.
Yeah.
Where, maybe it's not that serious of full-blown clinical binging and starving, but it's a lesser version of that still results in this just yo-yo, like your weight kind of goes nowhere or just slowly increases over the years. And that's the thing. And if all they need to do is learn how to eat just the right amount, and if they want to lose weight, it needs to be just 20% under your calorie maintenance, I always recommend.
Yeah.
You won't be hungry. You won't subconsciously go mad on the weekends as long as you put in a bit of conscious effort. And you'll consistently lose a bit of weight over the weeks. Now, if you do what most people do and eat healthy, quote unquote, during the week, you'll probably, like most people, find out that they're actually in like a 40% or 50% calorie deficit. Like they're eating like half of what they actually need to. So there's no wonder, and they think they're weak or undisciplined or like they're shit because they can't maintain that. Like no one should maintain that.
Yeah.
So I
that's
find that
a big thing, man. That's massive. Hey, I think, it's exactly what you said. Like the biggest thing is we're so trapped in this loop, right? Friday, but a big thing too, I feel like, which is kind of a topic or a problem that we don't really bring up, is your social group. Now, meaning that, let's say you live with 4 other people, let's say 3 other people, right? And 2 of those people, or 3, so there's 4 people in the house, right? So 3 of those people don't really value the health. They're not really trying to make some changes in their diet. They're kind of in their own little world, right?
Yeah.
And there's you who is trying to, I want to eat better. I want to do this. I'm trying to work out, I'm trying to get in good shape, blah, 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 right? But the 3 don't. So on Friday night, when they have beers and pizzas, what do you think you'd be doing? Probably beers and pizzas, because I didn't want to eat it, but they had pizza over, then I had a couple, then I had, it's this whole cycle, which is almost like this loop thing that you have with exactly what you said before, was the whole Friday thing, and then you binge eat.
Yeah.
One part of that too is your social group. If you're hanging out with people that which this is the first thing actually I try and do more, because again, with my field's kind of like very broad. It's kind of like everything. So I just got to look at social group that people value their health. But with yourself would be, I guess, a social group that value their nutrition, right? And that's a massive problem. Is people, or maybe they live with their partner and the partner's quite lazy and doesn't. Really
that's a huge one. Yeah,
that's more common than ever. It's just like, look at that first, and then don't tell them. Because again, that's when it fucks up, right? You tell them they get insecure or whatever it is. Just start doing it, follow. And eventually they may not be at the level that you want that you're at now, but even if they take the first step, it's like, dude, everyone has to take that first step. And if they see a good example or having good influences around you, they'll naturally just start doing it. I think you don't even have to tell people, you know what I mean? If they're eating shit food and you're eating your fruit and vegetables and they see that and they kind of start thinking about themselves, why the fuck am I not doing that?
But you can definitely go that route, but at least to start with people in that sort of situation, that's a hard one for sure. Like people think that's, I'm screwed. I can't do that. Like,
yeah.
And I wouldn't, because I don't really expect people at all to give up that stuff.
No, God no.
Beers and pizza on a Friday night aren't going to kill you. No. Excessively over-consuming calories will kill you. So there's ways to work that in and be able to do all the social things with your social group and still make progress or maintain a healthy body. So I'll tell people, right, so if you know that's going to happen, and you always know, it's very rare that spontaneous, massive night of drinking and eating occurs. Like, when there's an event, or if you have a ritual, if you have a thing, drinks after work or whatever. You plan for it. You create a slightly larger, you either create a slightly larger calorie deficit leading up to it. So say you need, say you're on 2,000 calories to hit your weight loss goal each day.
Yeah.
You go down to 1,900 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You've just saved up 400 extra calories you can spend on Friday. So now you can get 2,400 calories on your Friday. Perfect. There's like, easily like a few drinks done. And on top of that, you can even use like intermittent fasting or just eat really low calorie, high protein foods on the Friday leading up to the event or whatever it is. And you can work it in and you can still do all that stuff. Like, no worries.
It's very, very, very good example or good idea with that. It's almost like having, it's more of a lifestyle of, it's how I see it. For me to stay in shape, it's a lifestyle, right? Like, so for example, if I know that Friday night is going to involve with some drinks or not, I don't really drink that much anymore, but like, even though, let's say if it was going to happen, I definitely would be planning that for Monday. I definitely would be, instead of eating sweet potato, I might eat pumpkin because I know that's a little bit less dense in calories. I might be, let's say I usually have my first meal around 11, 12. I'll have it at 1 o'clock. Just small little micro changes that you can, that is easy to do. And in that way, Friday, you know what, dude, I can't wait. I look forward to it. And when I eat it, I don't feel, I do feel bad, but like, I don't get that same.
No, but you shouldn't. There's the guilt.
Yeah,
you remove the guilt from it.
Yeah.
Heaps better. And you have a better time. Like, you actually enjoy your life more by cutting back in certain areas.
More presence, exactly.
Yeah, you're not stressing.
And I think, again, I feel like both of us probably naturally kind of do that, but I don't think, as I'm getting older, spending more years in this very broad industry that I am, I'm starting to realize most of all problems in the healthcare industry could be avoided with some education, just basic education, just the stuff that we know that I believe that everyone else should be knowing.
Yeah, you need a little bit of willpower and the right information.
Yeah.
And that's all you need, again, for like 90% of any health issues. As long and the willpower thing, even if you feel like you have none, number one, probably, eat more healthy food.
Yeah.
And number two, that shit builds really easily and really quickly. You can build just use your willpower occasionally, or just force yourself just once a week or twice a week. And then you can build willpower, and then you can do anything you want with your health and with your body. You can build muscle, lose fat, and you can like reverse or increase insulin sensitivity, reverse pre-diabetes, and lower your risk for heart disease, lower your risks for like essentially all of the chronic diseases that are most likely to kill you. when all it takes is just a little bit of willpower and good information.
All it takes, not much.
Yeah, that's what I try and sort of drill into clients and stuff. It's just that little effort, just build it up. And a lot of the time, people need to see that and like feel that in action and see it. Because people get shit said to them all day from a million different angles now, and from social media and the internet and work and friends and everything is like, there's so much stimulus and there's so much information coming at people that just saying it doesn't really cut it. You got to do it and see it happen in front of you, specifically you. Like even seeing it happen to friends and family and other people, there's still a disconnect, and that still kind of might be screened out. It's like extra stimulus that you don't need. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, 100%, dude. So we've been going for 34 minutes already, bro. Great.
Yeah.
Good. We won't go for too much longer, because I feel like we could just save this important. But this could be a start of a couple little trends on that. Some ideas.
Loads of different topics. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd love to. I have some ideas I want to share with you after this podcast. I've got two questions for you, and you can answer however you want. The first one I would say is, what do you think? Like you working in the nutrition industry or field, or what do you hope that will event to? I'm trying to word it correctly. For the overall population of Australia, what do you feel like is that is needed? Whether, like I said, whether it's education, do you feel like whether it's more in-depth knowledge when people are at school? Like, do you feel like there should be free education on about this on website? Like, what do you feel like for the overall population to improve their nutrition? What obviously it is education, but where does that education start? Is it people who just want to seek it, or is it we should all know this, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think the information's already there. It's just It's just hidden. The good information that most people,
so many different opinions, right?
Just buried in. It's just buried under like Instagram marketing and online businesses and people trying to profit off of really just shite, unsubstantiated claims and poor information. So it's either. So I'd like to see all the garbage go and all the. I'd like to see people get taught how to critically think and think analytically more. I'd like to see people get taught how to research, like get taught actually how to self-learn, because that will lend itself to way more than nutrition. Because then you can actually pick apart the bullshit and stuff. Because people just in general, most people aren't equipped to.
I think that's the problem, hey?
Because the people that are doing this stuff, they're really good at it. They're much better than me at like presenting an argument. They're super passionate. They're very succinct with their ideas. They're very practiced. They're very like convincing. But underneath it all, when you look into it, they've got no research backing it that's legitimate. And most of it's anecdotal evidence that they're presenting, and their actual methods or successes to failure ratios and stuff are never promoted. It's only just about the thing that they're promoting, their program they're promoting, or their style of doing things that they're promoting. And because people don't ask questions about stuff, they just take everything as fact. And I'd like to see that. I'd really like to see people get taught, whether it's more of an emphasis in school. I guess it'd have to be in school, because That's the only forced learning that people
Right,
go through.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, just learning how to self-learn and think critically about it, because it's only going to get more important. There's only going to be more and more bullshit that's going to be floating around. And
I think that's more important. I never thought of it until you said that there. Like, I think I've always been a self-educated person. Like, that's how I've learned. I've never really went to uni or anything like that. I did my qualifications right when we finished school, but that was probably the only sort of additional learning where I had to be at one place at one time. Since then, it's been investing into education. Like, I will spend money on courses online forums, doing again. But it is definitely a skill. I never thought of it, but it is a skill. Like, how do you learn to teach yourself? Like, if you were forced that everyone stopped teaching, but we still had the information, how would you teach yourself?
Sorry, if everyone like.
So let's say there was no schools, there's no unis, the information's still out there. No one's going to teach you this now. How would you learn?
Well, I think if there's no one to teach you it in the first place, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
You kind of need to go through all the errors that everyone goes through. I only got to this point because I believed a bunch of the bullshit way back in the day. When I was starting out, I was like, okay, need to eat my chicken and broccoli 5 times a day to build muscle. And I was like, yeah, you need to do like fasted cardio to lose fat. It's the only way. So I did that, and luckily I never bought into anything too dangerous that really hindered me. But I could have easily. And then over time, you eventually learn that what the actual scientific standard of making a claim is.
Yeah.
And you eventually learn how to look at those at published research by respected organizations or doctors or whatever, scientists. And you learn how to pick apart what is a limitation in studies and what might make it less credible, how they substantiated their claims, how they carried out studies, and yeah, but that's just trial and error. That was just years and years, and most people don't have that. And I only got there because I had a consistent, this is what I love. Like, I had a consistent drive to keep looking into this stuff because I just love this stuff. But if people don't, then there needs to be that push or that initial sort of education.
That's awesome answer. You probably kind of answered the second one I was going to ask you, but the second one is, why do you work in nutrition? Like, why are you trying are you trying to scale your business? Why are you trying to reach out and help more people? Like, why are you doing? Is it because you love the food? Obviously, you said there was a little bit of education, but and I think you have answered that in the first, so correct me if I'm wrong, but why are you doing this right now? Like, why are you trying to move away from the day job thing where ideally it's a safe job, it's full time, it's reliable, and now you're kind of going, you know what, I want to do this. So why are you trying to do that? What's the deep underlying reason that's pushing you forward to do this?
So I'll give you the answer that like everyone gives when asked like these questions, and it's like, I want to help people.
I want to help people, yeah.
Which, of course, everyone wants to help people. Everyone wants to be a good person and help and make people's lives better around them and help people in that. But I love it. I love talking nutrition. I love learning about nutrition. I love food. I love cooking. I love making meals. And I love being healthy as a result of making these choices. So there's that. And I want to wake up every day and just be like, hell yeah, I get to just do that all day.
Oh, bro, you fit the jackpot as far as
they're the two. And I'm not there yet, but that's what I'm working towards. I want like, because I love it, and I want to just be able to wake up and be like, yep.
Love it. Good answer, bro.
Waking up and being like, another work day, or got to do it, or whatever. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Do something you love, bro, huh?
Yeah, easy.
Awesome. All right. So that's been about 45 minutes. So what we'll do, I'll get you to stay on because I just pressed the button to stop recording. So thanks for everyone for listening. Episode 32. Now, to find Tyler Brooks, we've got formative_nutrition. So that's for Instagram, right? So FORMATIV_nutrition, NUTRITION.
That's it.
Yep, beautiful. And then we have your website, Formative Nutrition, which is just one word. Is that correct? .net.
Yep. Formativenutrition.net.
Beautiful. All right. So if anyone wants to, I guess, get some information from Tyler, maybe need some advice. I tell you what, bro, actually, I just thought about this while you were talking was I definitely have, especially if I do go back to a gym, I do get a lot of people asking me about nutrition, and there's some questions that I probably need nutritionists involved with that. So I could definitely start handball you some people in the future for sure as well.
No worries. And I'm totally fine to, there's a contact on the website, and that I'm totally fine to just answer queries and that. Like, you don't have to pay to get a consultation or anything. If you got a little query, like, just send it through.
Me, bro. Awesome.
Like, there's on there that I post blog posts and that people can look through on different topics and things. You can read through some blogs and that if you
love it.
Yeah, check it out.
Awesome. All right, bro. Well, thanks for joining. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording here, and we'll see you again. Episode 33 coming up to you. Don't know what it's gonna be like, but we'll see what happens. Boom. Stop. Do you want to stop recording? If yes, receive animal when it's done.